Okay, guys. Brand new segment. I mean, you've seen by the title, we're talking about Keith Moon today. And this is going to be basically a segment reoccurring of the craziest stories, people, events in rock and roll history.
Alex has done some research, and he's going to share with me some of the craziest moments.
Yeah. So basically, I just want to hear your hot takes. What do you think about it?
Okay.
Share it with everybody else. I know for me, I've always heard, okay, rock and roll full of these like just destructive behaviors, these crazy things. Keith Moon kind of, I think, embodies everything.
Do you think so?
It's like the epitome. Yeah. Like I only skimmed the surface on, I think, a plethora of what he's done and the antics he's gotten into.
I mean, I'm just excited to hear some crazy stuff.
So to start off with, we know Keith Moon, obviously, drummer for The Who.
Yeah, and we've made jokes where it's like he's always drumming. He has one gear and it's 10.
It's 10.
Right?
Dude, apparently that was his life. So, for one, not only was he a prolific drummer, he just loved pulling pranks. Like, that was one of his favorite things to do was pulling pranks.
You never would suspect that, per se. Okay.
Now, pranks, I don't know what you consider.
I mean, what would he do?
So, he would do things like, one, ride around small towns with amplification systems in his back seat.
Okay.
Basically blaring fake public service announcements.
What kind of stuff would he say?
Like, tomorrow at noon, there's going to be a tidal wave.
He's like, I'm just going to cause mass panic now.
Mass panic. Yep.
Like,
there's 200 poisonous snakes have been released, so everyone stay in your homes.
No one leave.
Yeah. Just that sort of stuff.
Just ridiculous.
Ridiculous stuff. He's also known for drinking a shit ton. Like, all of the people in the Who partied, he was the guy who probably partied the most. So, this first story we have comes out of their first U.S. tour. So, they're touring the U.S., and they just played a show in Flint, Michigan.
So their U.S. debut.
U.S. debut. First time anyone in the U.S. has gotten a chance to see them.
They said, we're going to set the record straight.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. Okay.
So they play the concert in Flint, Michigan.
Okay.
Now, not only is this their first debut in the U.S., it's also Keith Moon's 21st birthday. So they get back. They finish the show around 10. The whole entourage heads back to the hotel.
Yeah.
Now, they're staying at the Holiday Inn. They're still kind of a newish band. It's their first tour in the U.S. Also, Holiday Inn was the biggest chain of hotels at the time.
This story gets more like cliche as we move on. It's like, you almost can't believe it's real, but I believe it though.
Yeah.
Keith Moon. Okay.
So, it's very documented. There are police reports. Heads up.
What? Oh my goodness.
So, basically, it's his 21st birthday.
Yeah.
They all go. Now, everyone's just feeding him presents mostly being alcohol. So just bottles of things. Like at one point, he gets like a personal like mini bar. Like it's way too much alcohol. He is trashed.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's also sponsored by a drum company. That drum company ends up bringing in a cake because it's his birthday. It's like a giant 5-tiered drum cake where each tier is a bass drum, like a kick drum, like all the way up.
Yeah.
Inside the cake is a stripper.
Pause. You're telling me that a drum company brought this cake in there for...
Apparently, they throw good parties.
I wonder if that drum company still exists, and if so, what? That'd be crazy. Either way, that's insane.
Yeah. So, chicken the cake. Well, he goes, you know what? Cake's good to eat, even better to throw. He starts taking the cake, throwing it around the hotel. Now, there's a giant collection of people. They all start also picking up the cake, throwing it around the hotel. He causes a food fight in the lobby / main area of the hotel.
So this is no longer in the hotel room.
This is, no, none of this is in a hotel room. This is like on like the back deck by the pool. This is all happening bottom floor of the hotel in front of everybody. He causes such a scene where there's just people like jumping in the pool, throwing cake in the pool, throwing cake everywhere, that the people at the hotel go, this is out of hand. We need to call the police.
Yeah.
So they call the police, and it's just buck wild. And in the report, I do have to mention this, because it's written in the report. It says, in the confusion, Keith Moon misplaces his clothes.
The dude's naked at this time?
Yeah.
Does he have boxers or nothing?
All it says is Keith Moon misplaced his clothes.
There's cake everywhere.
Cake
Dude's lost his
everywhere.
pants. Like, it's just...
Or everything. You're just totally naked.
Okay, dude. All
Yeah.
right, continue.
So when he sees the police arrive, he's naked, freaks out, obviously, and he dips, right? So he leaves, ends up trying to leave by getting in this Lincoln Continental car, pulls the e-brake, it's on a hill, the car rolls backwards because he's drunk as fuck, crashes through the fence, lands in the pool, the deep end.
Wait, in the pool of the hotel?
In the pool of the hotel.
So... In the pool of the hotel. Okay.
That's not where cars go.
Okay. That's...
So that's the start of it, right? Slams in
start?
the pool.
That's not the finale?
Well, he tries to get out of the car, obviously,
Oh
because
my-
he's like, now I've done even more damage. Gets out of the car, tries to escape from the cops again, ends up slipping on cake, face plants, chips out one of his teeth. So obviously the
Damn.
cops catch him, and before they take him to the jail, they take him to the dentist. But he is so messed up off alcohol and drugs that the dentist goes, in his current state, there's no use for Novocaine. It doesn't matter, so we're just going to operate him on without it.
That's insane, dude. What if he just fucking like wakes up in the middle of it? What the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Or what if he starts like puking from alcohol in the middle of like...
Well, then I
In
guess
an open
extra
wound?
Novocaine wouldn't have helped him, probably, huh?
That's true, I suppose.
Also, if you're the
That's-
dentist, that's a weird thing to just call. That's a weird thing to be like, nah, he's good. You know?
Yeah. I don't know.
I had a
dude.
drunk friend one time. It's all right. This is going to be fine.
Yeah.
And has he ever made the call wrong? Like, how many drunk people do you have to get in where you're like, no, trust me. This is fine.
I made this call many times
Yeah.
before. That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
Keith Moon. So, yet more?
Yeah. Oh, there is certainly more. So, just to kind of give you an idea of how much of a party animal this guy was, they're on their tour in 1975, their UK tour, their entire tour,
Okay.
after you take out all of the damages that he caused and all of the things he had to pay back, he ended up only making $47.35 on the entire tour.
Imagine if he was like negative. It's like
You're pretty
us,
close
like,
to it.
You owe the out like money.
And this is in
That's-
1975. So this is not the start of their career. This
Yeah.
is arena tours. They're playing giant tours. This is a tour that grossed probably millions of dollars
Yeah.
or pounds at the time. And he brought home $47 and some change because of like how many drugs, how much alcohol, and mostly how many hotels he trashed. There's a story from that same tour
Yeah.
where they're about to fly to a city, and they had just spent the night in the hotel. They drove away. The chauffeur takes him. He's taking him to the hotel, and Keith is just like agitated the whole time.
Yeah.
They get close to the airport, and he's like, you know what? I'm not getting on this plane. And I left something at the hotel. We need to go back. We need to get it. And the driver's like, we got to make the plane. He's like, I'm not getting on that plane until we go back and get what I left. He was like, okay.
Do you know what he left?
So he drives back,
Oh my goodness.
gets back to the hotel, tells the guy to wait outside. He walks upstairs. The guy's waiting for like 5-10 minutes. All of a sudden, TV crashes through the outside window on like the 6th floor, smashes a few feet away from the car. Then Keith comes back downstairs, shakes his hand, and goes, all right, we're good, we can go.
What?
Yeah,
You're telling me the dude just threw a TV out the window?
apparently he forgot it.
Do you know if he grabbed anything or like was that
That
it?
was the thing. From all everything there, that
He
was
said,
the thing.
Damn it, I knew I forgot something. It's gonna bother me the whole plane ride back once I do it. Like,
He's just thinking the whole ride. He was like, man, it was a really smashable TV.
see, how'd I forget the TV? Like,
Dude, what if he just trashed it so hard that just halfway through he's like, we gotta make a flight. Dips out and he's like, oh my god, the TV. I'm known as the guy who trashes hotel rooms. I can't not break the TV.
oh my god, dude, what happens if a TV just like person's dead now?
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
That's
Like, what if the
it's
driver's like,
insane.
oh, it's been a while. I'm gonna take a smoke break.
That's
and
like the worst way to have your career like ruined. Is like
Oh,
killing
yeah.
someone with the TV. That just sucks. It's
Yep.
like for everybody involved, the person who got hit by it, the one who pushed it,
and
it
some
sucks for
guy
everybody.
witnessing it. Like, there's some 6-year-old outside. Like, oh, okay. I just watched the Who kill a guy.
Dude, I don't even know. Insane.
Now, he did a lot of damage.
Yes.
There was one time recorded that it worked out in his favor.
How does that ever work out in your favor?
So what happened was he was at a hotel,
Okay.
and it was after a tour one night, or after a show. There was a waterbed in the hotel.
Uh-huh.
And he got the brilliant idea of, dude, I bet we could ride this waterbed down the stairs.
Dude.
So he's trying to pull the waterbed, take it out into the hallway. They're trying to put it, they get it out the door. They're trying to put it on the elevator. It gets caught on the elevator door, snags it, rips it. Water spills everywhere. He floods like a good portion of the floor. And he's like, oh, shoot, what do I do now? And he decides to drag the mattress back in, because there's no video cameras, to his hotel room, call down to the front desk and go, you know what? Your waterbed just broke for no reason and destroyed all of my expensive touring clothing. And the hotel, being so worried about having to replace all of his like expensive tour clothes,
Yeah.
they just moved him to the presidential suite, comped his room, like had somebody dry clean all of his stuff for free, right? Now the presidential suite had all these, it's like really, really, you can't even buy it basically. There are all these like expensive like antiques. It's like a really nice place. He decides to just trash the whole place anyways.
Dude.
Smashes everything.
He said, how much of a ruckus can I actually cause?
Yep. So now, I will tell you my favorite Keith Moon story.
There's more.
Oh, there's more. This is one of the best ones.
Okay.
So they were playing a concert in 1973.
Okay.
Keith Moon shows up. He has a groupie with him.
Okay.
And apparently him and this groupie did a bunch of drugs before showing up. Because he was known for just finding a handful of pills, a handful of anything, and just taking all of them. That's just part of his personality.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Side note, don't do that, kids.
Definitely don't. That's fucking stupid as hell.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the dumbest thing ever. All right.
So they think he took either horse or elephant tranquilizer.
So you're telling me Keith Moon is about to try and drum a show
With something that puts down a bull elephant.
and his drumming's already crazy. Like the songs he has to show up and play are already crazy.
You think he's on an upper, not a downer. Not like a zoo animal downer. Not like, here's what we give depressed elephants.
Okay, what happened?
Gets on stage, starts playing the song, falls back in his chair, gets back up, right? Goes to play again. They get like 2 songs in. He just collapses over the drums, out. They cannot wake him. They have to rush him out to the hospital. Now, at the time, there's this giant crowd of just booing, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And Roger Daughtry's like, I don't know, man.
So Keith Moon's out.
Keith Moon is out.
So what about the crowd? How many people? It's a huge show.
Oh, it's
right?
like 140,000 people. It's a ridiculous amount of people. And they're all booing. They're very upset. They're like, we want the show to continue. So Roger goes back. And at the time, there's a young band opening up for him. That band is Leonard Skinner.
Dude.
And they're just witnessing this debauchery going on.
Yeah.
And Roger goes back to me. He's like, hey, can your drummer fill in for Keith? And he's like, no.
He's like, hell no.
Yeah, he's like, I can't do that.
He's like, I've heard one too many The Who albums to know I'm not doing that.
Yep, dude. So,
Smart man.
Smart man. That's what I think. Like, he's like, hey, do you mind just getting up on stage and just doing horrible for a little while?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know any of the songs well enough. I'm not that good of, like, I can't. There's no way.
Yeah, so what happens, dude?
So basically, Roger got on stage and said, does anyone know how to play good? Like, somebody good know how to play drums? Like, somebody good. Just good enough. And here's where we meet the final hero of our story.
Okay.
Scott Halpin, who was just a random guy in the crowd.
Yeah.
As Roger is saying that, the manager had already picked him out of the crowd because I guess his friend was pushing him forward. Picked him out of the crowd. They had put like the monitors right for him. They had give him all that he needed to, put him on stage. He walks through the curtain. Roger turns around and is like, all right, cool. Just some random guy. This is fine. And he plays through some songs with The Who. Now, not the whole concert, because he gets 3 or 4 songs in and he goes, I don't know how Keith does this. Like, he's done. He's like, I can't drum anymore.
The endurance
Yep.
Well, you listen to a couple of Who songs. I mean, dude's going nuts on the record, dude.
And this is a guy who apparently okays taking tranquilizers and then does that.
Imagine how many shows he's like successfully pulled off while fucked up.
That's what I'm saying.
The stories you don't hear about.
There is a quote by Alice Cooper. His quote is, "Only 30% about what you hear about me is true. 100% about what you hear about Keith Moon is true, and you've only heard 10% of it."
Keith Moon, dude.
Keith Moon. Our first rock and roll crazy story, an absolute animal.
Insane. I love this. This was super, super fun, super awesome, dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll try it. If you guys like this, we'll do more of it.
Absolutely. And think, how many stories do you guys know that you've heard through the years? Because imagine things like that had to have been like floating around at the time. Stories like that about all types of different bands, you know? So let us know down below anything that he should research, that he can tell me about it on here.
Or any that you've experienced. If you have like a crazy rock and roll story of yourself. I mean, we have a lot of people that have like met people on the channel or have heard it through the grapevine. Some people, we've had people reach out to us that have like been in like old radio stations. So I'm sure you guys have some stuff. Let me know. I'll research it and we'll share it. Tell me if you like the segment.
Sounds fun, dude.
Comment down below and we'll see you there.